Hey everybody, I'm Zeter. This is Hound Hogs Barbecue, and today we're doing a double smoked ham. So, like I said, today we're going to be doing a double smoked ham, which means that me throwing this ham up here was pretty unnecessary, because we're going to be putting all of our focus into the glaze that comes after. So like I said, this ham right here, you can pick this up at any grocery store. I tried to find a spiral cut, couldn't find one. That's what happens when you go shopping for ham around Thanksgiving. You get what you get. But I did find a good, this is about a 6-pound bone-in ham. It's not spiral cut, but we're going to do a little bit of something to get that glaze down in there while we're smoking it. It's going to come packaged up in plastic. It might have a glaze or something on the inside. We want to throw that away because it probably sucks, and we're going to do our own thing here. We're going to go ahead and score this so that we can allow the glaze that we're going to make later to work its way down into the surface of the meat a little bit. Alright, so we got the ham on the smoker. At this point, we're just going to let this thing ride. It's going to start getting that smoke flavor, because that's what we want. As you saw, we didn't put any rubs on there right away. We want to get that smoke flavor on there. Go ahead and reinforce that. We're cooking on this Camp Chef SG24 at about 300 degrees. We're using cherry pellet, and then about halfway through, we'll come in with a glaze, and we'll put that on there. Alright, so now that that's over with, we're going to get started on this glaze. I really wanted to go with kind of a apple theme to this glaze. So I pretty much went to the grocery store, and everything apple that I could find that sounded good in a glaze, I grabbed it. Sometimes they call me the kitchen sink. This is why. I'm going to add a little bit of this into the glaze and probably some down at the end. But this is our Pit of Heaven barbecue pit grit. This is fairly new. It's great stuff. Don't pass up on this. Today we're going to be using Big D's original barbecue sauce. This stuff is pretty great. So a lot of you guys have been asking where you can find these rubs and sauces. Go down to the description. There should be a link below. You can go to houndhogsbbqsupply.com and you can find every one of the rubs and sauces that we use in these videos. So we're going to start with the apple butter. I got a measuring cup here so that we can pretend I'm going to actually measure this. Spoon, whisk, those should be helpful. Put this whole jar of apple butter in there. Boom. This is Braswell Select. Sounds fancy. Alright, next we're going to go with the Braswell's apple jelly. Again, I'm going to use this whole jar. Wow, that came out really clean. Alright, the next thing going in is sorghum syrup. I'm not going to put the whole jar of that in there. To be honest, I'm just going to pour some in there. And I think that's probably good. Now once we get
about that measuring cup that you made me go get?
Oh yeah, I'm going to use that for this here in a second. The next thing I'm going to add in is a little bit of barbecue rub. This is just to, well, because I like this rub. And the last thing we're going to put in is this Big D's barbecue sauce, original barbecue sauce. When you put this in, you want to be very specific with the amount you put in. So we're going to go ahead and put in about a half a cup. We're going to be putting in our hot honey. Like I said, if you're doing pork, unless it's like a pork chop steak, I'm going with honey on it. So we got our glaze put onto the smoker. We're gonna heat it up just a little bit, allow some of those different components to render down so it mixes together really well. While it's doing that, the reason we do it on the smoker instead of just on the stovetop You actually got some smoke rolling in there, so some of that smoke flavor will work its way into the glaze as well. All right, so we're getting ready to put this glaze on here. While the glaze was heating up, I tasted it, me and Blake both tasted it, and I felt like it needed a little more heat. So I went to the cabinet and I just took out what I had, which just so happened to be some crushed red pepper flake. So we just added some of that in there. If you can't tell, I really don't go off exact recipes, so I just added in there until it came to the spiciness, kind of the kick that I wanted. Alright guys, so we went ahead, we put on a couple layers of glaze. We brought this thing up to about 140, 145 degrees, which is a safe eating temperature, a reheating temperature for an already cooked ham. So we're going to go ahead and pull this thing off and get it on the cutting board.
Hey guys, so just kind of recap what we did here just a little bit. Zach got this ham from the store. It was not spiral cut because we couldn't find one. It's only about 6 pounds. But honestly, dude, I really like the way it looks with those cross cuts in it. You can kind of see that on the front where it just looks so good. You can kind of see where the meat's separated. I feel like it's separated more than a spiral cut ham does and allowed that glaze to get in more. And so we're pretty much done. I mean, the whole idea behind this is you take a bunch of things that you think are going to taste good together, you mix them together, heat them up, and you put them on. Zach made an adjustment mid-course because he felt like it needed a little more spice, and so we've got red pepper chili flake on here, and you just kind of have fun with it. You don't have to follow our exact recipe, but you want a lot of sugar in a glaze. That's the number one thing. Yes, okay, so go ahead and start cutting. That looks really good, especially kind of where those hash marks are. Get that little bit of char, that caramelization from all the sugars on the outside. I'm ready to eat it.
I think these two pieces right here. There we go. Looks like candy.
It does. It almost looks like a burnt end, except it's not beef.
No, it's not.
All right.
Woo! I've never really been a huge fan of ham at Thanksgiving or Christmas, but this...
That's good. I mean, it has a depth of flavor to it that a regular ham just doesn't. We had one guy tell us the other day we needed to chew with our mouth closed. All right, so I'll be honest with you guys. The difference between me and Zach is I put a lot of like very strategic things together for a recipe. Zach, even in competition barbecue, is just known for throwing the kitchen sink at it. And so I don't know how you do it, but you keep surprising me. But that is really good. And if you guys have a little extra glaze left over, you can do exactly like he's doing. Just try it this holiday season. But guys, that's it for us. As always, you can find everything we use at houndhogsbbqsupply.com. You can use the promo code in the description below. But we want to encourage you guys to turn those ideas into realities. Get out there and cook something new. We'll see you next time.